podcast for their ass. Because I have a problem. Look at accountability. I have a problem with pulling people to the side and saying, hey, bro, you're fucking up. Hey, bro, you should do this better. Especially after the one time. You got one time to let me know that you don't listen.
Yeah.
And I avoid you. Newsflash. We ain't got this in the topics, but the women who like to learn shit on their own, that's the woman you need to avoid. I don't have time for those type of women in my life at all. I'm already married, so I scratch that off.
That's true. You're already married.
Like the dudes who are like that, like, oh, I gotta learn shit on my own. I avoid those people, bro.
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean,
we're too old for that.
We're too old for it. I mean, in your 20s, yeah. As I always tell like any fellas that, you know, like we ever sit down in politics, I always tell men that you got to date a woman that fits your frame, right? Like if she don't fit your frame, there's no reason to date her, right? You can't cut her to fit your frame. You can't put a small picture in a big frame. Like she has to fit. If she doesn't fit, hey, I can make around there. If she doesn't fit, you must quit.
Okay.
That is so funny for you.
Yo.
We just lost like 3 listeners.
The vagina is drying up that listens to this podcast. Funny enough, I'm on Spotify this past week, right? No, actually before we started recording, and so I click on Spotify and there's 2 playlists, Get Turned and Feeling Myself. Right? So I'm like, I hit on Feeling Myself first because it's actually right after Rap Caviar. And it's nothing but women talking about they box.
Wow.
And finessing niggas, right?
Wow.
So then after like the third song, because you know, everybody knows I'm a bird, so I like that shit. And so I'm listening through and then I'm like, all right, let's get to some other shit. Then I go to Get Turned and it's nothing but men talking about having sex and killing each other. And I was just like, yo, how does Spotify classifies Feeling Myself and Getting Turned into black men only rap? Like literally the whole playlist is kill, she giving me head, and on women is scam, eat me out.
But like where else can that music exist, right? Like it can't exist in pop, it can't exist in rock. It maybe can exist in country, you know, like but they're not gonna play it the way that we play it, right? Like country music is about getting drunk, finding women, and you know,
getting your
handling business.
Yeah,
like that's what country music is about. I don't know if you ever like read the lyrics.
Nah, they got rid of Kane Brown. That was the only black person we had.
Yeah, so
they got rid of that nigga.
The only place for that ratchetness to exist, right, is in black music, and so it goes back to like the etymology of words, right? The word ghetto was not ever associated with blacks when it first came out. Like ghettos was actually places where a lot of Jewish people live. Like that's where the term comes from. Okay. So that it came with the term ghetto. Now it's been transferred and reassigned. And when you think of ghetto, when you think of ratchet, that right now is assigned to black music. And until we stop consuming it, right? Because we're culture builders. Fact. Until we stop consuming it, they're not going to stop playing it. Because if we say that it's cool, then everybody's going to listen to it, right? But if we don't mess with it, like jazz was the hottest music in the world. And then we stop messing with it. It's not the hottest music in the world anymore.
That's true. And then what had me laughing was I was listening to that and I thought back to the whole Chloe Bailey situation. If you do not know Chloe Bailey, she just dropped an album. Talking Disney star, been signed to Beyonce before she was born. You know, her and her sister. And all the accounts of the album was, it sounds good. The right writers was in the room. It sounds expensive. And then the numbers come back and it's like nobody heard it.
I didn't even know she had dropped the album.
And the reason why,
but I really wouldn't know either.
Yeah, so that's the thing. But if you go on Chloe's socials, it would seem like she would need people like us to listen. And I'm talking about young black men, right?
Yeah.
And you definitely not young.
I'm not a young black man
anymore. Yeah, you're old head.
I'm still kind of hip though.
Yeah, you still hip.
My women keep me hip.
Look.
My woman keeps me hip.
Look, get in trouble on the pod. But it was funny because I was reading a couple articles and the biggest thing is Chloe has a audience that grew up with her, that follows her, and there's a disconnect to the audience that she wants to listen. And it was interesting because I was listening to Melissa Ford talk about, you know, as a woman, you do go through those problems, that thing of, I want to translate. I want to stop being seen as like a little girl. I want to be seen as a woman.
I wish you would have sent me that clip. I would have loved to hear what Melissa Ford has to say about that.
Look, when women, I know that's not a women's podcast.
No, but men need to kind of understand how women think
Absolutely. But when women get a hold of Melissa Ford and hear what she doing to the Joe Budden podcast, they gonna get rid of her.
I got it. He said you gonna make me listen to Joe Budden in the car today.
They gonna get rid of Melissa Ford.
But so here's the thing with with Chloe, right? So I never knew who Chloe was until like Chloe became quote unquote a woman, right? She started being on social media. I think when she had dropped like the first picture or whatever that was quote unquote sexy, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think that like caught the attention of everybody. But when her profile just became that, because here's the thing, this is a dirty little secret about men. Men actually love good women.
Yeah,
like we love hoes, right?
Yeah,
but there's a duality with men, right?
Yeah,
we also really love good women, and I think all men was kind of hoping that Chloe was going to be like the good girl.
Yeah,
right. The good girl that we could get behind and like, be like, okay, see, a woman can be beautiful. And she can be classy, right? She don't have to be Vita Guerrero. I
got her autograph.
Really?
I need to bring it in here.
Yeah, y'all probably don't know who that is, but go Google Vita Guerrero. She's like the original.
She is. Shout out. Her and Melissa Ford.
Her and Melissa Ford, yeah. So and that's what made me think of it. So I think that like that's like the dirty little secret, and I think women hear men say that and they be like, "Nah, I believe you only want the BBL. I believe you only want the face full of makeup. I believe you only want the weave." And men oftentimes be like, "Yo,
I don't need all that.
I don't need all that," right? Like, and women kind of know this because they'll go out, and fellas, y'all listening right now, correct me if I'm wrong. They'll say, "Yo, I get the most men hollering at me when I'm out with a baseball cap on and sweatpants," right?
And then women complain about that
because men know that, like, because a man will look at you and be like, "Yo, that's what she's gonna look like in the morning."
Yeah,
and if she's like that right now, bro, I know when she put her foot in the closet, that it's gonna go 2 times higher.
Hey, let me tell you what's about to go 2 times higher. I'm about to turn it up in this podcast. Mike been effing with the ops. Yo, nothing gets on my nerves more than when I get online, I see somebody I don't fuck with. Sorry, moms. Both of our moms. I see somebody I don't fuck with, and the first name I see is my wife's. Laws. Darnell, he switched sides all the time, so I'm gonna let him go. Eds don't be on social media.
Yeah.
It's Jamar, Tequila, and Mike. If I see those people online liking somebody else shit, who I'm like, yo. So Mike got some explaining to do.
Hey man,
why you rocking with the ops?
I'm not rocking with the ops, man.
They don't like our shit.
No, they say that, but then they topics be like right behind our topics every week.
This is the all podcast in this state. Matter of fact, we run North and South Carolina. So I want y'all to know this.
Yo, like we are taking off. Like our numbers are real. They are.
Let me put it like this.
We are taking off. Hey, matter of fact, right now, because we always do this. Welcome to the Black Dads Club. Please like.
Oh, that's next. We gonna get there.
Please like, follow, and share.
Absolutely.
On all socials.
This is to all podcasts in the Carolinas. Y'all shit don't sound better. It definitely don't look better. The lighting's nice. The quality is there. This being shot in 4K right now.
Hey man, we trying to be. Look, we need all
Bump
of our.
that.
We need all of our pods in the Carolinas.
Some of y'all don't even own the studio y'all shooting in.
Come on.
Hold on. What are gunshots? This is why we need an engineer. Yo, I letting y'all know. And a bunch of y'all out there buying views, but we ain't gonna say nothing. Your person who produces your shit already told me. It's only one podcast that I feel that I honestly, all jokes aside, I do feel like it's better than ours. And that's Hair Wraps and Lipstick. And we coming for y'all too, ladies, but y'all mad cool, so I respect them. And
yeah, we need to do a collab with them.
Yeah, and the reason why, just like, I think, honestly, I've been knowing you longer than they've been knowing each other, but it's just that they hundreds of episodes in.
Yes.
And so that when we can read each other, we can know what's going on. They joke.
It takes a while, man. I mean,
it does take a while.
But you know what's funny is when we started, we actually said
that shit was ass, wasn't it?
Yeah,
when we first.
Yeah, that shit was ass. That shit was. We're gonna delete all them shit. As soon as we get picked up by a major, like everything from like 0 to 50, y'all better go listen to that bullshit now.
Because that shit gets deleted.
That shit get deleted for sure. But what's funny is when we started though, what did we say we needed to get to, right? We said, hey man,
yes,
we're gonna have to get 100 episodes.
Absolutely.
And now that we're coming up on 100 episodes,
we're gonna delete the first 50.
But we're way better.
Absolutely. But that's my shout at Mike. Yo, I want to welcome everybody to the greatest.
Man. I was just like, yo, hey, look, I'm for everybody, man.
Absolutely. Look, welcome to the second greatest podcast in the Carolinas. I'm your host, co-host, actually, Gavin B, as you know, who is behind the visuals and audio, you're welcome. Thank you. Hey, look, to our supporters, I want to say thank you. One, because y'all get my actual host, Pastor Mike, who is not really a pastor. Y'all get him to come in here every week, and we create for y'all.
I am a pastor. This is my ministry, man.
Absolutely.
Black men coming up in this country is my ministry. I am a pastor.
Look, and the funny part is, out of the 7 days out of a week, me and Mike argue on 6 of them. Sometimes I do wake up and try to get Mike, and he don't do shit. And I'm like, all right, he ain't even argue with me. So I just go back into my hole and keep it moving.
Gavin, we try to start fighting.
Absolutely. But I want to welcome y'all to episode 90. This is the Black Dads Club. We have a special announcement. On June 10th at 2 p.m., we will be hosting our first live show. It is open to the public. Do you want to invite women or not?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Of course.
Ladies, y'all invited. Between 2 and 3, we will be doing free photo shoots for dads. Ladies, don't bring y'all ass in here trying to look all hot in the ass thinking you better get a free photo.
It's for the dads.
It is for the dads. Now, at 3 o'clock, you can show your ass up, and we're going to have a fun time. We're going to have food, bring your own drinks. We're going to be doing giveaways. It's going to be fun. My dad hit me up yesterday, so what y'all going to talk about? I'm like, bro, we don't know. We got to get there first.
We have no clue.
We have no clue, but it's going to be funny. I promise you that. Dad tip of the week. I really don't have one. I'll say this. It's important to talk to your mate, spouse, hopefully your spouse, about what type of parents y'all want to be. I do notice that sometimes, the type of parent that you grew up with might not be who you want to be as yourself, right?
Yeah.
And it is important to have that conversation to say, hey, what type of mom you want to be? And then you can explain, hey, this is the type of dad I want to be. I was telling Laws last night, at 10 o'clock, my son woke up and my man screamed the house down till 1 o'clock. Of course, his mom was working late and she didn't get home to 1:30. But, taking that time to say, hey, because I knew I wanted to be the patient dad. My dad he wasn't short, but when my dad spoke, it was go time. It was for real, right? And I didn't want to be that. I don't want to be that snippy person that, just so on it. But, taking that time and, my wife explained to me what type of woman she wanted to be, a mom, excuse me.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to have those conversations. Say, hey, I want to be this type.
Yeah, there's so many conversations we should have before we actually get married. And it's hard and it's scary because you like the person that's across from you and you don't want to lose that person, right? You don't have the confidence that you're going to say something and they're going to be like, all right, I'm going to stay. But as someone that has practiced that, had to learn how to practice that, but I've practiced it. And I'm here to tell you, no one leaves when you give the hard information. And you feel so much better because you're like, whew, they're still going to stay, and I've gotten this off my chest. Because if you don't, at some point in your relationship, you are going to be walking on eggshells around that. It's going to drive you crazy. It's going to make you passive aggressive, and then at some point you're going to lash out. So just have the hard conversations up front. Like, yo, This is who I am. This is what I am. This is what I want to be. Just rock with it, man.
Absolutely. One thing I can't get behind, or I don't understand.
Uh-oh.
Yo, somebody wrote me earlier today, and they was like, yo, you really don't like the generation before you. And I said, man, them niggas trash. Like,
yeah, he wrong, but he don't. Loud and wrong, but it's all good.
But I listen. I listen. Me and Laws had a conversation last week about, as from a photography standpoint, are we letting down Gen Z, right? I do listen to my elders. I listen to Mike. When Mike say, hey, Gavin.
This man called me his elder. I'm going to punch him live on camera.
But one thing I don't get is, why are y'all making a Freaknik documentary? It's dropping next year. It's coming out on Hulu. I don't get why this documentary is necessary.
I don't know why it's necessary. I don't.
The footage is going to be bad.
So here's the thing. So the producers is Jermaine Dupri and Uncle Luke. And both of them are really proud of their work for some reason. Now they're the producers. They're not the showrunner.
True.
The showrunner, though, not surprisingly, is the same showrunner for We Need to Talk About Cosby. Now, however you feel about We Need to Talk About Cosby, for better or for worse, you know how that documentary went.
Facts.
That means that we can expect this documentary to go in the same manner,
Absolutely.
Which more than likely is going to place black men in a poor
Horrible.
light. Now, there has to be some accountability, right?
Okay.
So, we can't just say that, like, yo, this was the era of Girls Gone Wild, 95 South Boys, Uncle Luke.
Facts.
Freaknik,
69 Boys.
69 Boys.
I'm trying to think of everybody my aunt sent them used to.
Yeah, right. So this, again, this was the era, and if it ages poorly or if it ages badly, that's on us. We got to eat that. right? That just means that, like, those are things that we should not have done. Now, what I do find funny is all what we're talking about, right? The girls dancing on cars, shaking their butts. Everything that we're talking about is literally what the music is right now.
Facts.
It's
okay.
literally what the music is right now.
Well, you know,
right?
Mike, this is women empowerment music. They hate when I say that.
Yeah. So it's like you just took Uncle Luke and you made him Auntie Lucille.
You took Uncle Luke, who couldn't get played until a certain time of the day. And you said, no, we're going to make this 24 hours.
Yeah, we're going to make this.
You remember you had to wait for BET Uncut to come on?
Like, women literally are making music talking about getting ate out or eating men's butts or whatever it is that they want to do, right? Yeah. And it plays all day long. Now, look, I'm not here to say what's right or wrong. I'm not a moralist.
Yeah, because I like that shit.
At the end of the day, I really don't care. But my problem is, right, we haven't watched Freaknik Documentary, but we do know who the showrunner is. And I am almost certain, right, so this is the problem that I have with it, is that at the end of the day, it is not going to show black people, much less black men, in a positive light. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm coming back on here after the documentary drop. We cut this clip right here and I can just say, you know what? I was wrong.
Let's hope. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
As soon as I realized like it was a real thing, because everything on the internet is like interesting, right?
Yeah.
And so I wrote y'all and I was like, yo, who fell for this?
I don't like it. I ain't gonna lie. Now I get why Uncle Luke wanted to be made, because that was his era. That was like if strip club, booty making, bass, carrying your stereo around music, if you wanted women to dance, you were going to have to throw some Uncle Luke in there.
Absolutely. And then for me, I was just like, yo, this is a setup.
Son coming.
Look.
And
as soon
that was it.
Look, as soon as I get on Twitter, Freaknik is trending. And they got some IOTAs on there. They're talking about, yo, we about to cancel all 15 of y'all in the whole organization. Man, and they was like, it was
Gavin will pick a fight, boy, with motherfuckers you do not need to be having fights with.
Only 10 of them, man.
Yeah, it's still more than us.
Oh, yeah, it's only 2 of us. We got laws. It's 3. Look, but it was funny because it wasn't funny. It was two of those brothers, sitting there talking to a woman, and
I saw that clip.
And it was just like one of the dudes is like, yo, this how y'all dress. And he talking reckless, which I don't think this man thought, yo, in 20 years, this gonna be spread.
And here's the thing, bro, it's not even 20 years, it's actually 30 years.
Yeah.
Right? So this dude is in his 20s, he's in his 50s now. And like that's the crazy part of putting yourself out here, right? So we make this pod, we got video that's on YouTube. We got clips these clips are going to exist forever, right? So at some point, our sons are going to go back
and be like,
and watch this. Our daughters, when we have them, are going to go back and watch this. So at the end of the day, like, part of your accountability is in what we say today, and knowing that it's going to exist forever, right? One day I'm going to be in my 60s and my kids are going to be like, yo, Dad, what did you mean by this? So,
Absolutely. And what's crazy is, so they got that, and the internet will find you. I don't know if you ever saw like the doc, like Don't Fuck with Cats.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
They find you.
Yeah.
And they will make your life hell. And I just see women like thirsty and waiting for this thing to drop just so they can say men ain't shit. And I'm just like, yo, Jermaine Dupri especially. I'm like, bro, you should know better.
Yeah, I mean they all should know better. But when I saw who the showrunner was,
you was like,
yeah, I already get it. Like, yo, black men have no friends, period, point blank.
Oh, absolutely. The easiest targets out there. Hold on.
Easiest.
Nora, as Ned, also went on about 30 dates. Did you have any fun?
Rarely. It was just an ordeal. Unpleasant. Yeah.
She says the pressure of Ned having to prove himself was grueling. Nora was surprised that many women had no interest in a soft, vulnerable man.
My prejudice was that the ideal man is a woman in a man's body. And I learned, no, that's really not.
There's no attractive nice guy. It's not because I like the...
Wait a second. What?
She said that the ideal man would be a woman in a man's body.
Yo, God shouldn't have never gave us the internet, yo. I say that.
I love it because these are stories that used to exist, and we'd be like, yeah, that never happened, and we call people liars, and now people actually produce the content. You actually watch it, and you're like, is this staged?
It has to be. Why did she think that was a good idea? This remind me about when Tyra Banks got in a fat suit and was mad that all the dudes was talking trash about her.
Yes.
Like on the dates, and then she got up there fake crying. I'm like, Bitch, you take that off. You go about your day.
But here's the thing about that clip, and we're playing this because this is the Black Dads Club. We do talk about relationships and dating. And a lot of times, you know, I run into fellas that's my age, right? They always complain about like how tough the dating market is. And I always tell them like, yo, it's supposed to be tough at our age. Like it's not supposed to be easier, right? Like
okay.
Like when you're younger, there's more availability to all the different things you want. The older you get, the less the availability is going to be.
Yeah.
Like you can't go and buy a 1977, you know, Chevy SS right now. In 1977, you could have bought one every week.
You could have been Shaq, but we're going to get there. Look, and you know, talking to the young cats that's my age, but you know, the thing that's hard for them is they don't have the money to date. Which for them, you need to be smarter.
But that's why when you're younger, like we have to change the ideal of what we should be doing as young men, right?
Okay.
Now, obviously, we would also have to change the ideal of what we should be doing as young women, so those young men can have someone to marry. But
they got to apply for that.
But this idea that we have to run the streets forever, it does put you in a bad position. Like you do need to be settling down between the ages of 25 and 35.
Oh, facts.
Like period.
Facts.
Like this idea of like, yo, I'm just gonna be out here in these streets. I'm just gonna have a rotation of women. Like, no, at some point you have to have that discipline, man. Like, some point you gotta look at yourself and say, all right, what kind of man am I going to be? Like, you're gonna become a husband before you ever become a husband. Right?
Facts. And that shit nasty.
Yeah, it's like, man, you don't get tired of being nervous every time you go to the doctor.
Facts.
Like at some point you want to walk in that thing and it's like, whew.
Yeah. I got happy when they was like, how many sexual partners you have?
One, right?
Look, me and her can have all the conversations we can have. You know what? Speaking of my wife, she ain't gonna hear this part. She gonna try me this week. She was like, heard your podcast. I know one thing, you better not be having no side chicks. So we were just talking about cheating, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know I can't afford that. And she just looked at me. She was like, well, I don't care if you could afford it or not. I was like, you know I can't. Like, I couldn't afford that if I wanted to. Oh, because one of my cousin's husband, Brianna, put in a group chat, yo, Bree, it's our family group chat.
Yeah.
And he screenshotted our YouTube video when it says, good husbands deserve more wives. And I was just like, and then that conversation came up in our family chat. And I was like, bruh, I told y'all listen to this week's episodes. I ain't say go back start. And I'm just like, whatever, man. I'm gonna put my toe in here since we starting fights with everybody, and I'm getting right out.
Lord have mercy.
To the UFC Trans Fighter that broke that girl's skull.
Is that on that fighter or is that on the UFC?
I think it's on that fighter. But I think
if you allow them to compete,
they're going to compete.
So it's like,
so it is.
So it has to be on, and like that's the problem with America is that we always.
What's your favorite line about America?
Oh, my favorite line. Oh, we always do the right thing after we tried everything else. That's Winston Churchill. Not my line, but that's my favorite line.
It's for Mike.
And it's like, yo, like why would you let a biologically born man compete with a woman in a fist fight? I don't get it. I'm not saying you can't compete. I'm just saying, like, at some point we do have to figure out, you know, what's safest for everybody. There is a natural difference between the strength of a man and the strength of a woman. And I hate that we dipped our toe in here, but since we're here we go. Right? I don't know if everybody ever saw that clip of it's like a bar in Texas, and the dude is at the counter, and in the caption it says "man cheating on his wife." Wife comes in and finds him.
Okay.
So she comes in there, and she taps him on the shoulder. He turns around, she headbutts him. Like she hits him right in the nose. So his face is bleeding, his nose is bleeding. He can't see anything. Blood is getting in his eye. So she's punching him, and like he's just staggering everywhere because she just headbutted him in the nose, right? So he's like staggering towards the door, and he has his hand out to like prevent her from hitting him because she's still punching him. And while his hand is out, she punches him. She literally bounces off of his arm that he's literally just holding out to protect himself, and she almost hits the back of her head on the stool, right? So if that was to happen, right, and she hits her head on the back of the stool, right, and she passes away.
Yeah.
This man literally did nothing.
Yeah.
It was literally her just bouncing off of him.
Absolutely.
Because of the strength difference between men and women, which is another reason why as men we got to understand our anger and our emotion and understand the underlying cause so we could address those issues, because men know that other men are dangerous.
Facts.
We live in a society now where it does seem like sometimes women don't understand what men already know about other men. I'll never forget that I had a friend, like she had sent me this commercial.
Shout out to her.
Like all the things, like, you know, walking into a dark tunnel at night, you know, walking to your car down in a dark alley at night, leaving the store. So she was like, these are all the fears that I have to deal with as a woman, right? And when she said it to me, I was like, yeah, I have those same fears.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't get, you know, if I had to walk to a train on a railroad in the middle of the night, I'm not unafraid.
Yeah.
Right? When I'm walking in a dark alley, like I still have the same fears that I too may be mugged. You know why? Because I understand who my danger is, right? My danger is going to be a stranger.
Facts.
More than likely, a man.
Absolutely.
Right? Either that or, you know, like a wild pit bull, right? But like, those are like the fears of men.
Absolutely.
So our fears are not different, but I do believe that sometimes we've created a society that has so much Charmin tissue between stupidity and actuality that when those worlds collide, right? Like when you have a biologically born man punching a woman in the face, and then at the end of the fight, she has a cracked skull. Like, at what point should the common sense have kicked in?
Well, I like to put it like this. Y'all, and y'all know who y'all are. And I ain't talking to black men. I'm going to just eliminate us from the conversation. Y'all play the dangerous game that y'all keep playing, and I think the repercussions are going to be like this. So let me put it like this. We are watching athletes that are trans, and they have equality, and they're gaining equality. Excuse me, they don't have full equality, but they're gaining equal rights in certain arenas, right? And they're starting to beat women, and that conversation now is turning to, do we start stripping them of that? Well, the problem didn't start there. The problem started a long time ago.
Yeah.
In different areas. Let me put it like that.
We should have been honest and upfront in the beginning of the differences and created a caveat for that. Like, for the longest, if you had a child and you wanted to, like, you change your kid's diaper, right? For the longest, y'all women probably don't realize this, but in male bathrooms, they didn't have changing stations.
Absolutely. They still don't.
And then, a lot of them still don't, right? Yeah. And then they start adding, changing stations. But then what started happening was, because they realized, like, men have little girls, so they started creating family bathrooms, right? So when you go, in most major places you go to, you got a men's bathroom, you got a women's bathroom, you got a family bathroom.
Yes.
Right? And so if that's where we go in society, that we are going to be more inclusive, we're not. It's bullshit. But if we're going to say the right thing and then do everything wrong until we get it right, all right, cool. If we're going to do that, right, like, before someone is hurt, like, for once in our fucking life in this country, before someone has to be hurt, we should get it right on the front side.
Absolutely. And be honest. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're right. But until we get to the point where we could do it on the front side, right? Because the problem is, when we do it on the front side, everybody on the back side complains, right? Because you never see the repercussions, right? You never get to see someone get murdered in the ring, because that's going to happen. If you keep doing this, and boxers are killed in the ring.
Absolutely.
Right? So you think if you keep this type of fighting going, that someone's not going to be killed in the ring?
Absolutely. Look, and so for me, the reason why I say honesty, because this whole situation, I ain't really that mad at. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why I'm not mad at it. Because I was told what equality looks like a long time ago. We're doing it with this subset of people. They told me what equality looked like for black people. They told me what equality looked like for black women, for brown women. Y'all, we keep doing that, and then what ends up happening is, when somebody crosses the line, no matter what that equality looks like, then we want to backtrack and be like, oh no. So that's why when I saw this, I was just sitting back like, oh, okay.
I mean, I honestly don't care.
What you thought was gonna happen?
Yeah, ultimately, I don't care.
Like the one dude who was getting his ass beat in, like, swimming, right? Bro was getting his ass beat. He came back the next year, said, I identify as a woman.
Yep.
Ran and he swam that year in the woman races and set all the world records.
Yep.
What you think gonna happen?
No, I mean, look, this is the thing. If this the road that you're going down, I know what it looks like when you go down this road.
Look.
As black men, I'm saying we should steer clear of the conversation.
Well, they ain't gonna let us do that.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. Like,
just to give you a heads up, if you are a black transgender woman, they ain't gonna let your ass win too many times. they gonna look at you and say, nope, your testosterone levels are too high.
Well, I mean,
you got to go sit down.
To that point, right? They even did that with the
track,
runner,
the track runner,
the track
absolutely.
runner. Who actually is actually a female, but she has high testosterone levels. And
exactly.
They were like, yo, yeah, you can't even compete. So I mean, at the end of the day, black men have no friends.
Absolutely.
So if you identify as a black man,
and if it don't,
just know you don't have any friends. If it doesn't
benefit white men, then it can't happen. But I'm gonna let that go too.
Yeah, I will let Gab have that.
Yeah, because if y'all notice, y'all keep noticing who the trans athletes that's actually winning. It don't be. Look, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Look at that. All right, here we go. Let me get up out of there.
I don't want to spend $400 for a car. So I'm like, hey man, how much is this? How much is this? So finally the old guy says, yo man, you asked about all these cars. Can you afford them? Now I'm pissed. I said, what the fuck you just said to me? So I buy 3. That one, and that, and I want them dropped off. So I got 3 Rolls Royces that never dropped. I don't want to spend.
Listen, you can't.
Shaq stay doing some
weird shit. Lying. What you want to start?
Nah,
with? Nah, I believe the story, but
I absolutely believe the story, man.
Shaq be lying.
He stayed doing some weird shit.
Weird
bro.
shit.
Like, here's the thing. All right. And we used to say this on the pod all the time. If you've been with us for a few years, you've heard this before.
Shaq's a liar.
I'm sorry. No, you got to know what a win look like as a man.
Okay,
right?
yes.
Like, as a man, you need to know what a win looks like, right? Like, Shaq went to the car dealership, right? Like, at the car dealership, their goal is to do what? Sell cars?
Absolutely.
So if he wanted to flex on them, you flex by making them sell cars?
No, he made them buy 3 cars.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not a flex, man. That's not a win. That's a loss.
And he had them dropped off.
That's a win for I'm sure. You just spent $400,000 a car. Like, yeah. You want them dropped off now? Like, you want them to be home before you get home?
My point is, it costs more to have them dropped off.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's like that was a weird flex, man. And I hate that as black men, we just aren't thinking men, bro, the way we should be. Right? Like that, like he baited you into that, bro. And I see that so often that as black men, we get baited into conversations, right? And then we not only do we get baited into the conversation, but then we get this fucking straw man built, right? And then they move the conversation. Now we're in a conversation that we never should have been in, talking about a completely different topic. And then even if you are to win that conversation, then you get gaslit. So this goes back to the original conversation that I always tell you guys is like, 1A, understand what a win looks like, right? Like sometimes a win, what it's going to take to win is not going to feel good in the moment, but it's going to give you, like, Shaq just spent $1.2 million plus whatever taxes for cars that he don't even drive. That dude that baited him took that commission, right? Probably 50, 60, 70, 80, $100,000 commission, right? He don't care if he would have been nice to Shaq or mean to Shaq. Shaq still bought the cars.
Fact.
That's a hell of a fucking salesman, right? This is not a flex for Shaq.
It's not. I love Shaq. But
I
Shaq,
ain't really a fan.
Really?
I'm not, man. I'm not a fan of apologists. I'm not a fan of people that do performative works as black people. I'm not a fan of co-signers. So there you go.
I like Shaq. When growing up, Shaq was probably like my 3rd favorite athlete, and then when him and Kobe broke up, then I had to pick Kobe and I dropped Shaq. But
and I appreciate the championship he brought to the Heat. I'm a Heat fan.
Shaq has always been about self, bragging on self. And this has zero to do with the video. It's just my thoughts on Shaq.
It's a terrible brag.
Yeah, it is a terrible brag, but it's everything about Shaq has always been
that one. Yeah, thanks, dummy.
And then, Shaq, like, if you go listen, I think what threw me off with Shaq was I watched that Penny doc with him and Penny, and it just seemed like everything had to be about Shaq. And he revises history so much in everything. Like, oh, me and Kobe really never argued. We just saw different. Bruh, y'all was fighting in practice. Like, shut up. Like, we do that, right? Now, he could be the greatest. I don't know, but it's so many Lakers that's great. Now, Kobe, has transitioned and, he got to be in your top 3 of all time or you don't know basketball.
And Shaq does have hot takes, right? Like, he's like, it's like the black Colin Cowherd, right? Just throws something out there and see if it's, he said that, what's our young lady? Angela from LSU.
Okay.
He was
Angel?
Is it Angel? Or
yeah,
Angel. Okay,
yeah.
sorry. and Angel.
He
but
was
was
Black China the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking about my save woman, Angela White. But he was like, yo, she's the greatest athlete to come out of LSU, and this is like, she's not.
She's not.
Athlete.
But Shaq do shit like that.
That's what I'm saying. He does things like, and that doesn't mean that she's not a great athlete.
Yeah,
she's not the greatest athlete to ever come out of it. It's arguably Shaq.
Absolutely.
We're talking about the greatest athlete, but because he is arguably the greatest athlete, he can say, all right, well, I'm going to rescind my throne, hand that to you, but it's still not true.
Yeah, it's not. But Shaq do that all the time. It reminds me of like Drake. Every time he stand beside like one of these rappers, he's always, you're the greatest rapper of all time. You are the leader of our generation. And he be up there lying.
Yeah, because he kind of understands that, like, yeah, it's really me, though. Like,
yeah, it's really me. Like, and I be laughing at that. Like, yo, I love Drake. I love J. Cole. And I've told you how I felt like. I feel like it's Drake and Kendrick is like the leaders of their thing.
Yeah.
But Drake is the face of it. No matter who you pick, Drake is the face of their
Facts.
generation. And Drake getting up there, and he got the whole crowd singing Whitney Houston, I'll Always Love You, to J. Cole talking about, this man, I wouldn't be here in my career if it wasn't for this man. He do that, and he just told Lil Wayne that 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
And then, he'll go sit with Big Sean. He'll go sit with Kanye. He'll go sit with whoever. Oh, speaking of, I don't know if you heard Drake's new song.
No.
It's not good. It's Search and Destroy. It's not that good. That's not the point. It's very mid. But in that song, he has clips of Kim doing an interview talking about Kanye and her divorce from Kanye.
Search and Rescue.
Oh, we could play it for the.
No, we're not playing this.
But the thing is, how do you feel about that?
I say I'm gonna have to listen to it before I could actually give a good opinion on it. But so he made a song, but he's talking about. But
no, in there he plays clips from Kim's interview talking about her divorce from Kanye. You know what I'm saying? It's just played in there.
I'm gonna have to listen to it. But
I need because all right.
But I'm all about men staying out of other men's business.
Thank you.
I'm all about that though.
That honestly turned me off from the
especially
song.
Men that you know.
Absolutely. And then hold on, let me just show you one thing. If anybody has shit, that was it actually. That's not what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you the cover art. The cover art should let you know already. Hold on, Search and Rescue.
Wait, I got the cover art. What is it?
It's
who is that in the cover?
Oh, it's supposed to be like him and Kim, but they not saying it's actually Kim, but it's supposed to look like
a troll though.
Yeah, and
like Drake is a little bit of a troll. So like Drake is a troll. The game loves to pander online.
Oh yeah.
It's like some of these guys, they do have online personas. So it's like you got to kind of just charge it to the game a little bit.
I just thought it was out of bounds because I was looking at it and it's like, damn.
You don't talk about another man's wife though,
bruh. That part, and then you and this man have an off and on, we love each other, we hate each other relationship, and from all intents and purposes, from what we've heard, you and Kanye just did a concert not too long ago for Larry Hoover, which y'all told us nothing about Larry Hoover's case. Y'all didn't update us anything about that, whatever. And
you should still, because they're still at the age where they can still get in fist fights.
Oh, absolutely.
In your 30s, you can still get in fist fights. 40 plus, you should not be getting in fist fights no more. You fuck around and hurt yourself.
And Kanye, I'm letting you know right now, do not take that fight. Drake might wash you, and that's a bad look to get washed by Drake.
I don't know, man. Kanye got a lot of rage inside of him, man. He might get him.
Kanye, you better bite him.
Everybody got a puncher's chance, man. This is why you stop fighting when you're 40 plus.
Yay, you better bite that man.
We are using our words now.
Yay, you better bite that man. You better not fight that man.
I'm about to listen to that in the car though, on the way back.
Man, go ahead and text the group 3 minutes later and be like, turn this shit off. All right, London, Marquise. I don't know if do you know this person?
No.
Okay, cool.
He's a social media person. Gavin will read your shit though live. Like if we ever start doing like confessions, I'm gonna have to screenshot that shit because Gavin will be reading your fucking name and where the hell you from on air.
Mike sent me a group of chicks who was stuck in Miami, and I just screenshotted their faces, names, and everything.
Just
I was
threw
like,
it out there.
know.
I was like, yo, I say, dude, you do realize they go to.
They from the city.
They from the city, bro. Like we probably know them.
Did not.
But
care.
It was one of those funny things because you was like, yo, women always fall out of Miami.
Stop going to Miami, ladies.
They were actually stuck in Miami.
Stop going. Landon said, keeping a platonic relationships with a man who made you a single mom while another man is trying to make you a wife is astonishing.
I got a lot to say about this.
Oh,
I don't really have a lot to say about this.
Go ahead.
So, all right. Men and women can be friends, right? We gotta stop dying on this hill that every dude is trying to boink every woman.
Okay.
Like, at some point, like, there's some women that you just don't want to boink because you're not attracted to her. Like, even
Absolutely.
if she said, like, yo, I want to give you something, you probably gonna be like, yeah, I'm kind of good on that.
I'm good on that.
And if you haven't came to that place as a man, you haven't matured. Like,
Absolutely.
grow up. First things first. Second thing, man, like, y'all fellas that want to date women that have kids, but you want the baby daddy to be nowhere in the picture.
You are weird.
You're weird. You're a red flag, and she's a red flag.
Facts.
All right. There's no reason for a child's father to not be in the picture if that father is alive. There's too many red flags in that scenario.
Facts.
All right. So this idea that, like, she should not be cool with her. Now, if you want to marry the woman, then at some point but we did this, like, I think it was the beginning of last season.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, as a man, why aren't you and this man sitting down having a conversation?
As y'all should. Y'all need to.
You need to, because you have his seed in your home, right? And that's your home. You're going to run your home
Absolutely.
however you want, but y'all need to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are y'all trying to maintain a relationship through a woman? Are y'all not grown?
No,
I wish
they're not.
I would maintain a relationship through a woman. Like, I wish I would marry a woman that has a child with
dad is
another man
who's alive.
who's alive, and he is texting and calling. What? Is she in my house?
Look, my
His
issue
child,
with-
like, no, me and you got a relationship, bruh.
yeah, we're gonna have to. You know, the thing that threw me off was, why did Landon think this was cool to say? Y'all men gotta
Because
relax.
I think, dude, for one, you know, if you're 30 plus, the odds of you dating a woman that don't have a child, right? Like,
Are slim.
it's slim.
Yeah.
Like, the majority of women have kids. And I think that most men, like, when we read this post probably like 4 or 5 pods ago where the guy was like, if your child's in my home, he runs all the shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's becoming the mindset because a lot of these dudes are raised by single moms.
Facts.
So they never saw a healthy relationship between a man or a woman, or the responsibilities of a man, or the accountability of a man. So they believe that what they should do is just come in and everybody do what I say, right?
Yeah.
It's not a democracy. You know, this is just me.
Just me. Your mom can't even talk.
And it's insecurity, man. Like,
Absolutely.
there's no way if I date a woman that has a child, right? All right. I'm not talking about in the beginning. I'm not talking her and I going out or having fun. I'm talking like, yo,
we serious.
we thinking about moving in together and getting married. All right.
Yeah.
My conversation with that dude has to be coming up soon, right? Like, me and him has that. And you guys should be terrified if you don't talk to these women baby daddies.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of these baby daddies, yes, they do have platonic relationships, and some of them have more than platonic relationships.
Oh yeah. That's always my
A lot of
box.
them have, in between relationships, relationships, right? Like, when she in a relationship, he ain't messing with her. But the moment she's not in a relationship and he's free,
Let me see.
he's spending time over there with his family.
Let me see what happened when you put used miles on that car.
So a lot of you guys might be wanting to have these conversations, so at least the dude knows that you're there and you're for real, and he'll probably want your relationship to work.
It was interesting because in the Facebook group we in the Black Fathers group, there was a conversation of if the dude, what is the husband's job when the baby father is taking care of his kid? And I was just like, yo, what the hell are you talking about? Like,
Because these dudes want to come in and they think that by taking that man's child and making it their child, that woman is going to love them more.
ooh,
She's not. She's not going to love you more, bro. Matter of fact, if she left you, that dude would still be there for her. You know why? Because he has a child with her.
absolutely.
She's not going to love you more. When you come in like, I'm the dad that stepped up, you sound goofy.
You do sound goofy, and that's the thing about it's so many goofs on the internet.
Yes.
It's the internet has been full of goofs for a long time.
They're loud and wrong.
They are, that's the problem with the internet I don't like. I love the internet. Shout out to the boomers for creating it, Mike. But I love the internet because it gives us so much access, but it gives the goofies so much more access, and they know how to use the internet better than anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they need the likes, right?
They
They need the hearts. They need the adulation. So they say
Facts.
things that will engage, that gets that. Why the reasonable dudes, again, like if I date a woman and she has a child with a man, like why, again, this makes common sense to me. Why would I not be cool with that dude? Because for one, if it's my house and I'm running the house, anything that he needs is going to end up back to me anyway.
Yeah.
So why go through a middleman, or in this case, a middle woman, to get to me?
Facts.
When he could just text me and be like, hey, Mike, what are y'all doing this weekend, man? Such, her little cousin having a birthday party. Mind if I come through and grab her, right?
Absolutely.
That should come through me, right?
Absolutely.
And then what I'm gonna say? No, dude, this is my child.
Yeah.
like y'all do. There's only a few things that men are completely irrational about. Their children is one of them.
Absolutely.
And you guys are running into a blazing fire, right, of rage and trying to convince these men that you should have ownership of their children.
Bruh.
Y'all are nuts.
Y'all are stupid. I was going to help Mike out. I just knew I was going to have to bleep a word out. God
y'all
dang.
nuts, man.
Look, every day, y'all show me who ain't getting laid. And Landon, sir, I know you're not getting no box, bro. Because
he like he a young boy, so he probably got the young rotation going. But when he get older, though,
bruh,
what he's going to realize is that he's going to stress himself out because, dude, the good fathers do not step off just because their baby mama dating somebody.
Single moms ain't reading your status, Landon, and like, yo, I gotta have somebody like him.
No,
they not even reading that. They like,
don't
yo,
care.
They like, yo, this is stupid. What is he talking about? Like, oh, my baby father want to be around. He can't be. Women don't like being told no. Landon don't know that yet. They like to have the freedom to do what the hell they want to do.
And here's the thing, you know, obviously, like I said, she got to fit your frame. Now, I'm not telling you, dude, to date a woman and let her baby daddy keep boinking. I ain't saying that. And I ain't now if you're a cook or a stag, do what you do.
Yo,
right?
Yeah.
But for the majority of men, it's not that. I'm not telling you that. But what I am saying is that you have to be able to have. If you don't have it inside of yourself to have a sit down with another man, like, yo, how are you ever going to run a successful business? How are you ever going to create anything in life, right? How are you ever going to get promoted to director at your job, a VP at your job, if you don't know how to have a civilized and a reasonable conversation to discuss differences with someone, right? If you are fearful that the woman that you're dating is going to mess around with her baby daddy, right? That should be enough of a red flag to be like, yo, I shouldn't date her.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just shouldn't date. I don't care what she look like. I don't care how good the box is. I don't care how good the Glock 7000 is, right? Like, yo, if I have this anxiety that this dude has more than enough access or have more access than he should with his baby mom, right? And y'all not in a place where you can have that conversation to be like, you know, hey, what's up with y'all two? Y'all seem really, really close.
Yeah, if you can't do that, don't.
If you
waste
can't
your
do
time.
that, don't date her. And I'm not telling you can't feel a way, right?
Yeah.
If your gut is rarely wrong. Your gut instinct is rarely wrong, right?
Yeah.
If you see the girl that you dating and her baby daddy, you know, together, and that seem way too friendly, and you feel it in your gut, it's probably something there, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not able to have that conversation with her, right? Like if you can't say, "Hey, why y'all so friendly?" Right? If you can't have that conversation and she can't say, you know, what's actually going on, right?
Yeah.
Then that's just not a relationship that you need to be in, man. We got to be able to communicate in these relationships. And y'all boys got to, if you're going to date women that have children, you got to stop being so insecure about her baby daddy.
Absolutely. Look, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you send this to 3 people.
Yo, we got to get our listeners up. Please share, man. Share it.
Share, like, subscribe everywhere.
Share it with the person that's just like you. If you're listening to this pod right now, you have a friend that is just like you.
Okay.
Right? Share it with that person. I'm not telling you to share it with the people that's not like you, right? Because you don't want people to actually know that these are your thoughts. Yeah. But there's somebody that you know that thinks just like you. Just send a pod to them. Be like, yo, man, listen to go to minute such and such. Send them a minute mark.
Absolutely. Yeah, do that. Look, and like I said, May 1st will be the Eventbrite link date, the release date to register for the live show. It will be limited seating. We got to do that for y'all so that y'all don't just think. Just know. We're going to make this serious because we want the right people in the room. We want you in the room. We want our real listeners in the room. So please look out for May 1st for the link. But it will happen on June 10th. And with that, we're going to holler at y'all next time.
Holler at your boy.